Let's just double check, make sure everything's working okay. Search for a game. Well, I guess for right now we're doing that. That. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get this party started then. So, what we're doing right now is part of what, at least what I do, would be, we make iPhone and Android apps. And game development's always been a little thing that I've kind of been a little interested in and would like to do and pursue further. I'm actually not that in college. I'm 20 in my junior year, actually, as a matter of fact. But that's not something really that I want to pursue as a career per se, but rather as a simplistic kind of hobby. So what you can see right now is what we've got going on is... this is playing around with the new RPG Maker MV software. I figured it was an easy way to start. And so, really what's kind of going on is we're designing a RPG and having to do some really kind of... let me tell you, I've had to learn quite a few little tricks out of this one. So, take a look like here, for instance. So, all of this is what's going on, and you can kind of see like all these weird little boxes and whatnot, and yeah. So what we have here, and you can see over here is kind of my somewhat of a map structure. So take a look. This is the world that we're currently designing. Pretty cool, right? And as you can see, I've only barely scratched the surface. I'm only right up here. So it's still taking a little bit more work. The hard part is that we're designing this game with a multi-episode structure. So what's going on is that we have 4 characters. Let me go back to the Demon Castle here. So let me zoom it in again. Alright, so take a look. Is that we have 4 characters. Let me go back to the Demon Castle here. And sorry, I'm just double checking something. So... And by the way, those of y'all who are tuning in, feel free to chat with me. I've got a little thing over here on the second monitor. That's why if you'll see me turn to my, I guess for you, it would be, or yeah, still my right. Okay. So on my right, I've got a little monitor kind of over here-ish, so I can see everything that's going on. Anyway. Okay. So, back to what I was talking about, though. So, what we've got going on here is we've got the 4 characters right here, and these are all custom designed, and we have this little fireball, which is going to kind of play its own thing here, and then we have our villain. And what's really cool is you can see here that these guys aren't doing anything, so I'm literally using them as just placeholders by placing an image there. And then I'm going down here. This is where all the action is. And you can see literally everything that's going on. And what's really cool about this is I can, for instance, let me shrink the window a little bit if I can. Nope, can't. Oh well. So like I've got my event. It's saying this event, which is EV001, which I'll probably fix later. But and it's gonna make him do these actions. And then I have the player, which is you. So I'm gonna force you to do things. So let me show you now what that looks like when I actually finish it up. So let me save that. And I'm going to turn down the audio just a bit. So this is what it all looks like. And so that's pretty much what's going on. So, you know, with one of the hardest things here is, and a lot of people will say, and especially, let me show you another scene here that we got going on. So after that, you saw that we got warped to the overworld, and that was kind of the idea here, was to kind of create this Final Fantasy-like mindset where you appear in this gigantic overworld, and you have multiple enemies that are going to come up, and they'll randomly just appear. So, but what we got that's really cool is, and a lot of people probably would disagree with this, but it actually makes a lot more sense. So this guy over here is going to kind of come and talk to you. He'll move to you, and you're going to appear right there. He's going to come talk to you, and then you're going to go to that village right there. But the nice thing is it's going to do a nice little fade over that you won't even notice it. And here we are. So it's going to take you to this little town. Now keep in mind, this is where things with video game design, what I'm calling the fine-tuning stage, which is where we'll go in, we'll fill in all the NPCs, and we will add on a location. So like right now, we're only doing the rooms that are important, or at least as we see fit. So since right now the only thing we're really concerned with is that one little house right there, I've set that one up. Now, if I wanted to, and actually I might, let me go and do that now. So let me go through here. I'm looking for the church. They have a really well-designed church that I really liked. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Or was it cathedral? Let's see, where'd it go? I could have sworn there was one on here. Or not. I guess we're not. That'd be my phone. Okay, so we're gonna design a church probably. Especially since I mentioned it here. Now, what's really cool is we go into the house here and we have a few little things going on. So, wait, what's that going on? Oh, nothing. Never mind. I'm just going crazy. Okay. Anyway, so the funny part is she's not doing anything, and you're gonna see that once again. Another placeholder. The old man's script, however, is the one that's doing all of the heavy lifting. And it's really impressive. So you noticed over here a minute ago, her name was EV003 for event 003. And I reference her, EV003. And I'm telling EV003 to turn left, move, 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 turn, move, turn, move, and do all the actions. So what's really kind of cool about that is so we're able to keep everything moving at once. Now, we had a little bug here with this little guy. So what I was originally trying to do was do something like this, where I was going to change your weapon. Down here. Change your equipment. That didn't work. So I had to default to just giving it to your party, which means you do have to equip it manually. But I figured that worked out better in the long term anyway. Bad thing is these scripts will loop if you're not careful, so you have to make sure you put the self-switch A on and make a second page that has something else when self-switch A is on, or else you're going to have a glitch. And we had that happen multiple times the other day. So then we go to our wonderful little fishing village with our little sailor down here. And like I said, this world will be more populated as we get further along in the development cycle, but as it stands right now, there's no need to even worry about that. And this is our wonderful little shipyard. I figured it was more like a pirate theme. Our Lost Forest, which right now isn't doing much. As you can see, I've set up all the waypoints, so... sorry, there's a mic right here. I'm trying to avoid getting around that. And so the waypoints are set up, and right now as it stands, you can get into it right there, but I have not set up the out point yet. And actually, I probably could do that real quick. Let's do that real quick, actually. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to Transfer Player, and I'm going to tell it to transfer them to Lost Forest. And we're going to spit them out right here. Let's do that. Now, I could put them all on the same point, or I could make it so it's a little bit more realistic and make it so and I'm going to fix that actually because I didn't realize I had 4 spots to work with. So that's actually really cool. So what I can do now is I can actually code each spot to do a unique point, which is actually something I haven't done yet in this game. So it adds a little bit more just to the appeal. And I'm just going to real quick just kind of go through. And I'm going to do Transfer Player, and I'm going to do it for each point so it matches up. So it's a 1-for-1, which is really, really cool. So unfortunately, though, the only bad thing is you don't always get the ability to do that. And as I can show you with up here, I've got 2 entry points, but if you notice in the Lost Forest in the top part, I got to have 5. That is not happening. So it's a little bit more complicated when you start dealing with that. The other fun part, this is an abandoned town prototype that we're working on, and the waypoints are set up. And I even have the waypoint set up over here. I just disabled it, so I just took out the one line that says Transfer Player. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with that, because I had plans for it, but now I'm not so sure. I'm not really sure where it's going right now. The 4 episodes are supposed to encompass the 4 players excuse me, that you saw up here. And the first episode is to mainly focus on her story. Not like the game Her Story, but you know what I mean. So, but then I also have to be able to compass his story, and her story. So, and I had to figure out how to tie that all in. So right now the approach that I'm going with is, if you take a look again at our world map. So this is one large, albeit kind of island that I'm working with. And this is kind of the mainland. And this is where the main character story is going to take place for this episode. So if you notice at the beginning of the game, I said the character's name was Xena. That name is not final, but this is what I could come up with. And if you guys can actually think of better names, feel free to post them in the chat over there. That would be great. So, what we got going on, and you can see now that I've set up the waypoints, and why am I pointing at the screen? You can't see me. When I set up these waypoints over here, I made it so that way this rest of this world would be accessible. Because right now, otherwise, I'm confining you to this little space, which is nothing. So, each character is going to be portrayed in a different spot. So right now I'm working on the Northland, which is kind of very, very run down, very snowy. And I have 4 main characters that I'm working with. Sorry, the zoom's just everywhere. So take a look here. You're going to see that, and I'm sorry, I'm tweaking with something over here on my right. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm working on.
I use one of both because the FE pins are good if you're in a fight.
I am sorry about that. Like I said, I am terribly sorry. I am just trying to find this, and then Anyway, what I'm trying to do is I'm running this off of a platform called Restream, which is allowing me to. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is I'm running this off of a platform called Restream, which is allowing me to. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is I'm running this off of a platform. I'm so sorry about that. That was going to get annoying really fast. And I'm trying to catch these all so I can mute them all. And is that going to affect my stream at all? Not really. I'm not getting much fluctuation, which is good. Well, the last one's pulling up here. Let me keep going. So anyway, what I was trying to say was we have to tell a story of these 4 characters, which means we have to expand on them in a way that you can connect. But we really want you to connect, at least in this episode, with this character, which is Xeno. Now, the other 3 protagonists, don't worry, they'll have their own story. And also, if you noticed, I kind of left a cryptic text of the villain here. So I'm going to pull that back up. So what you just saw there was that we've kind of dropped the hint that he is a friend of yours. Hopefully that's the hint I got across. So we're kind of working with that, and we want to be able to portray this in a way. So let me go back to the overworld. Zoom back out again. So the north is going to have one of the characters. This whole little island is going to have another character. This island is going to have another character. And then I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that one yet. I think I may include it with this arc. Yeah, I think I might include it with this arc. And then right here is going to be where all the action happens and goes to here. So the whole idea is to kind of send us to kind of... You're starting essentially here at almost the end of the game. And she says here, if you notice in the text, I'm going to go into his script because he's the one that controls all who's saying what. We must have missed something. There's no way he can be this strong. Which implies a flashback. And that's kind of where this takes place. Is everything afterward is just a flashback to the main event. No. There's a little kitty camping out underneath my chair. Come here. No. What is with you? Come here. Come here. Mako, you're going to get hurt. Yeah. Come here. Okay. He's going to come when he's good and ready. So that's kind of what we're working on here. Now, I don't want to give the whole thing away, but I figured, you know, kind of having a little bit of fun with a game spotlight, so to speak, was a kind of a cool idea. When is this game going to release? I'm not really sure. There's still a lot of work that has to be done. And I mean, even with the script, like, it's just a very, very, very rough cut. So there's by no means it being finalized. So we've also considered the possibility of using voice acting. We haven't decided yet on that. But yeah, so we shall see how it goes. So far, I'm really enjoying. The last software that I used in this line of software to develop was RPG Maker XP, which had nowhere near the capabilities. The very nice thing, too, is that this will release a Mac version as well as an iOS and Android version. So that's really cool. Um, the past one only did Windows, and by extension, you could do Mac if you use the Wineskin software emulator. But this has true native built-in Mac exporting, which is really, really cool. Overall, the experience is a lot more fun with this software. Am I going to say it's going to blow everything out of the water? No. But does it have the capability to at least do some really cool stuff? Yes. And let me go. This is the Snowtown prototype that we've been working on. This one's a little bit more complicated because it's got a lot of different things going on. So we have an ancient ruins up here. We've got a weapon shop, an item shop, an inn, an armor shop. Which, by the way, that armor shop was kind of hodged together at the last second, or kind of made together at the last second, because there was actually no sign there, so I had to kind of crop one in there. And I thought that looked bad. I mean, I don't even think you could probably notice it. Probably looks just like that one over there. Which is still really cool. And then right now the next big hurdle is going to be this. And the insides, for that matter. Because at this point, you know, we've gone through all these places and nothing has really happened yet, which is kind of disappointing. You know, you probably expect a boss fight. There aren't going to be many bosses here. There's probably only going to be 2 in this game, maybe a third, I haven't decided yet, before you get caught up to where the central events of the storyline happen. And let me find my scroll wheel thingy. There it is. Until you get to here, and we're going to, yeah. So when you get here, then you're going to have to fight the big guy, and you're going to warp, and it'll be fun. And that's kind of what's going on here. So... yeah. Anyway, let's switch over to a game now. Let me go into the library. Not of softwares. Ta-da! And... let's see. Actually, we'll come back. Gonna take a quick break and then I'll be back. So, peace.